Hi, everyone. I'm Crystal Sayers from New Beginnings Health and Wellness, and I just want to welcome you to the first episode of Monday Musings and Energy Updates. So, moving forward, I'm going to be sharing a weekly update on what's actually happening energetically for the week and what we're being invited into, as well as a mantra or a meditation that you can actually use and enter into each week to actually help you with your growth and with forward movement as well as healing. So I'm super excited to be here and to be able to share with you. And I'm just showing up as myself. I'm going to be talking about what's happening in my own life as well, because I find that oftentimes the messages are coming through in that way as well. So I just wanted to start off with a little bit about this past week that we've had, which has been, I personally feel that it's been quite a doozy. So I'm not sure how it was for you, but for me, I definitely felt some massive shifting going on. So we had a lot of like lunar activity, including a solar eclipse. And we also had a solar flare type of situation happening, and a lot of like things going on in the world related to world events that are having an impact as well, because we're also not only just dealing with ourselves, but we're dealing with the consciousness of humankind, right? Meaning that many of us are very much connected to what other people are feeling and what other people are going through. And so what I felt the word for the week was relationships, or congruence in relationships. So that I'm going to share a little bit of like our sort of mantra or a meditation related to something that you can think about. So not so much a meditation, but more of an affirmation that you can use during the week that is going to help serve you and bring you into alignment and greater healing, especially as we're talking a little bit about relationships. So something that I noticed was happening last week was a shifting and healing associated with the masculine feminine, especially with the parental types or authority types of energies. So, for example, I had a couple of experiences this past week related to the mothering energy, both from my own family, but then also a friend who also I would consider to be sort of a mother type of figure or person in my life, and dealing with the things that are impacting them and seeing how, wow, that is actually triggering a need for healing in me. And so I actually I was taken back to 9 months old when I was in a time of meditation, because I really felt that I needed to address some issues related to some abandonment that I was feeling and experiencing. And what I found was that when I asked what the root cause of this issue was, excuse me, I was taken back to 9 months old. And so this was a really interesting experience because of the fact that I was a baby at the time. I don't know a lot, but I was shown a vision, and I had been seeing it for about 2 weeks prior, off and on, myself as a baby in a high chair and just experiencing certain emotions. And of course, my parents might not have even known what was going on, but this is what I was taken back to. And there was a feeling for me of wanting to be nurtured, but for whatever reason, emotionally, I wasn't receiving it on some level. So it's not to say that anybody did anything wrong. It's that that's what I was experiencing, and it was coming like in my life currently. And then that was also actually something that I was experiencing as a baby, and that's what I was being shown. And the other interesting thing here with this was when I went in and did the healing, there was a massive emotional release. This was last weekend, even going into Monday last week. And the powerful thing about that inner reflection and allowing myself to feel those emotions. And this is what I want to convey. It's important for us to feel what we're feeling, but understand that we are not our emotions. We are actually consciousness observing something. We're observing an emotion, actually, but we often take it on as if it's our identity. And so this was part of what I felt that I was working through. And this was all about bringing myself into alignment related to the nurturing, mothering type of energy so that I could receive that, give that to myself on a deeper level, and also receive that from source. And there was such a beautiful shift. And then in addition to that, I also had some healing related to this situation and my past associated with even my father as well. And it was really interesting because I was having a particularly challenging evening as I was going into this. And my dad, who I never really talk to at nighttime, we talk in the mornings. And I literally was right in the middle of the healing of this stuff. And my dad actually called, and he had no idea about what I was experiencing in the moment. And this was actually also connecting in with a current situation that I was also dealing with related to letting go and feeling that I was abandoning somebody else in my life. And this is where it went back. So the reason I'm bringing this up is, or feeling, and that I'm feeling to share this is because many times the experiences that we are having, or even in relationship with other people, is actually mirroring something or an opportunity that something within us is asking to be healed. And so what I realized was that my own feeling of abandoning this particular person in my life currently actually went back to my own feelings of abandonment that I had had or was perceiving. Sometimes it's not always that it actually happened, but we might be perceiving something in a certain way, meaning this is how my body and my brain is interpreting the situation. And so it was so fascinating to me that my dad called right at the moment when I was doing this inward healing work. And we ended up having a conversation about sort of a current situation that I was dealing with. I didn't talk to him about the stuff from as a baby. I didn't feel led to do that, which was fine. But it was really beautiful because then the father energy was able to come in and actually help support me as I was moving through this healing process. And so after the phone call, which was really great, I went back to the baby and I addressed the baby stuff. And then I also addressed what was happening currently in my life in a relationship where I was needing to let go, but also having these abandonment feelings. Like I didn't want someone else to suffer the way that I had perceived that I had suffered. And so it was really interesting because what came of this, and I'm going to talk more about this. This is why I'm sharing from my own life, because we all have these different kinds of experiences, different situations, but we can have many of similar types of emotions. And so what actually happened was when I went back and I allowed the part of me that was the baby to express itself and I, as the adult now, nurturing and comforting the baby that was feeling or perceiving abandonment in some way. I also then was able to go to the part of me where I was feeling that I was doing that to someone else. And what was so amazing was as I was having a conversation with the person's soul, a soul to soul conversation. And what came out of me was, as I was sitting in this moment, I was finding myself saying, I respect and I honor the God that is within you, that is having this experience and choosing to have this experience, and that you're choosing to live your life in this way. I honor you as a part of God having that experience. And then I also said to myself and to my soul, I honor the God that is within me, who is also choosing to have a different experience. And what happened was I had this beautiful feeling of, like, if you can imagine a puzzle, and that these pieces were coming into the puzzle and it was all connecting. And it was this feeling of unity, even though I may not understand, or even though I might disagree with how somebody is living their life, or how I think they or feel that they need to be supported. It was letting go of the judgment related to that, even of myself, right? And the beautiful thing that happened was I just felt, actually, with this person on a soul to soul level, a greater level of unity. So I actually felt a deeper sense of unity, respect, and appreciation, and love and gratitude for this person and their experience, as well as mine, understanding that God or source energy is what connects us all. And so I wanted to share that with you because I feel that it is important for me to be honest and open. And I feel that often we can learn from one another's life experiences, our healing, our suffering, our difficulty. And so what I had perceived as this other person in my current situation, as suffering or being vulnerable, what actually happened was I was able to step back, and I was able to honor that person's choices and their journey. So that allowance and honoring the God that is within them and that is having this experience through them actually allows me to take that step back and understand that this is not anything to do with abandonment, but that was a perceived reaction or response that I had been having, but it was something deeper in me that was asking to be healed. So when I did that, the beauty was that I just felt a deeper sense of freedom for myself, and I no longer needed to see this person or the situation that they're in as suffering, but actually them having the power and being powerful to choose for themselves what they would like to experience. So bringing this back to relationships, I want to talk a little bit about what our affirmation or our mantra is for the week. And the mantra is this: I am in perfect alignment in my relationships with others and with myself. I am in perfect alignment in my relationships with others and with myself. Now, you're probably going, how do I actually get into alignment? What do I do? So before I talk a little bit about that, because I want to give a little bit of homework, but it's very practical, very simple. I want to share, I had pulled some cards as well, just to see what spirit or what source wanting to say about relationships in general. So we're talking about our relationship with ourselves, because that is the most important, and as well as our relationship with others, and our relationship with source, with our guides, our angels, all of that as well. So there's many aspects and dynamics to relationships that we can think about. And so for today, what I had pulled actually in terms of cards was the Queen of Swords. So the Queen of Swords, this is about our thoughts, about our intellect, our patterns of thinking, and we are being asked to come into a new level of maturity. We're being called into a level of maturity. This is very much a feminine energy. So we're needing to nurture our mind. We're needing to nurture our thoughts, our emotions. We may need to nurture aspects of our will where we feel we don't have motivation or the desire to support ourselves and our relationship with ourselves, or maybe even others as well. So the question for you today would be, how can I begin to come into that beautiful alignment and using the feminine energy to nurture and to creatively make space for a greater sense of flow in relationship to myself and in relationship to others. So this can get really specific. I'm using a general perspective here, but you may have a specific relationship that's popping in your mind. And so this is the challenge. The challenge right now is to nurture, to use the feminine energy to allow you to step into the creator mode and think about what is it you want to create in your relationships. What does alignment look like for you? Does alignment look like setting a boundary with someone? What about setting a boundary with yourself? Maybe you're on your phone all the time, and maybe instead of being on the phone till 10 o'clock at night, maybe 9 o'clock, so that you have some quiet time, some downtime, some time to be able to reflect, to journal, to go inward. So I feel that that's part of it, is we're being asked to take the time to reflect, because the reflection is going to allow us more perspective and clarity around how we can connect with ourselves, nurture ourselves using that beautiful feminine energy. Now, masculine men, women, those who are transgender, etc., we all have masculine, feminine energy. We're working with these energies that actually can support us if we understand what is actually happening. So right now, it's the asking of addressing our mind, our will, and our emotions related to coming into a place of deeper maturity. That maturity can come through that deep reflection. And as you're doing that for yourself, that also provides opportunity for you to look at your alliances, things that your partnerships, your marriage, your anything where you're in relationship. So this could be business, right? What are you aligned to? And actually, I feel like this is kind of a Sesame Street thing, but what actually came up, what I was hearing last night was that this week's number is the number 7, and not the number 7 represents many things, including like completion and union, which is really interesting. And then also aspects of looking at partnerships, marriages, alliances, anything we're married to, or we have a commitment to, a covenant with, right? So looking at all of that and seeing, how can I bring more well-being and health to myself and to my relationships? And what am I being asked to set a boundary with or to let go of in relationships as well? So just something to think about. And what the world is trying to give us through the challenge of relationships is, this is the Page of Pentacles. And I really feel like this is about a message. So there's a message in your tangible everyday life that actually is wanting to come through, that there's something about fruition here. The world is wanting to give you, or your life experience is wanting to give you a message about stepping into that maturity using that nurturing feminine energy. And the gift that you are being called to give to the world through relationships is desire and passion. This is the 9 of Wands. 9 is about global awareness. It's about stepping in. It's like eyes wide open, not having the blinders on. Being able to allow you to give of yourself from the place of true desire and inspiration as opposed to obligation. And so it's like shifting how we see relationships and what we're doing in our life from the place of obligation, which can sometimes feel, I would use like the word heavy, or the frequency of obligation. It has a connotation of sacrifice to it. I really believe the time of sacrifice is over, but what if we shifted obligation to maybe your children or relationships that we have or our work situation? There's ways to think about it as in, I get to do this, or I have this beautiful opportunity, even if it's not exactly what I want. I have the ability to step into a level of honor, respect, and devotion to my children or to my partner or to my business, whatever that might look like. So I feel like the word devotion could help us come into a deeper sense of alignment and allowing us to move into more inspiration. In addition to this, the other thing that was coming up here was the question around, and I think I mentioned it before, around, and this is homework. So to bring in that alignment, what can you do? You can simply take a few moments. I often encourage people just to put their fingers like right in on their sternum or their heart space, and allow the body to relax and bring your attention into your heart space and breathe. And as you do that, then say, I am in perfect alignment in my relationships with others and with myself. Even if it doesn't feel true to you, the affirmation will actually bring up and begin to reveal to you what doesn't feel good, what does not actually feel in alignment, and what is asking for attention, nurture, healing, or maybe even a boundary that needs to be set in place. And you can ask, what is my next step, right? So you don't have to go, okay, here's 10 people that I need to set boundaries with. Just ask for the next step, really, really simply, and let it come from the heart. Don't think about it. Let it bubble up so that you're connecting with your higher self as well. So that's your homework for this week. Just take 5 or 10 minutes. It doesn't have to take long. Connect in with yourself. Each day, I would encourage you to say those words. I am in perfect alignment in my relationships with others and with myself. And just take a few breaths and feel what it feels like to be in alignment, to be in that space of congruence, because my goodness, that feeling is so peaceful. It can be joyful, it can be exciting, and there's so many beautiful things that you can experience even just by taking a few moments and then asking, what is my next step to creating a healthier relationship with myself, or with this particular person, or my children, or maybe even my relationship with my business or my work situation, right? So your higher self can bring in and give you so much wisdom. And I just feel like there's just like everything just felt calm as we were talking about this. And then the last card that I pulled is this one here, from the Ancient Stones deck, and it says, Elder, Teacher, Wise One, and Experience. And that's exactly just as I was talking about. It's like you're going to come into a deeper wisdom that you have access to. You have access to higher wisdom. And so you can ask Source, your angels, guides, and your higher self, what is my next step? What's one thing that I can do today to come into a greater alignment with myself and in my relationships with others? So that's what I have to share today on Monday Musings and the energy update. So this week is all about alignment in our relationships. And funny enough, before I even knew that I was going to be talking about this today, last week, I set a YouTube upcoming event on Wednesday, October the 9th, 7 p.m. Mountain Time. That's 9 p.m. Eastern on YouTube. My YouTube channel is Crystal Sayers, so you can go onto YouTube and type in @Crystal Sayers or just Crystal Sayers. You will find it. And under the live tab, I'm going live on Wednesday night, and I'm actually doing that. I didn't realize it until just last night, that I was guided to do a channeled session from source, from the guides, and I believe from the consciousness of union, and we'll see what they have to say about relationships. And so there, I can also potentially answer some questions, and we can see what the guides have to say about relationship stuff. So I hope you will join me. And then each Monday, I'm going to be doing these Monday musings and energy updates so that it can help support you and set you up for the week. I'm also available for private sessions, so you can shoot me an email or go to my website, www.newbeginningshw.ca. That stands for health and wellness.ca. And what else? I also am offering a sale on 30-minute Zoom or phone call readings. So usually it's $99 including GST, and I'm going to give everybody $10 off for the month of October if you book a session with me and have the session in October. So 89 Canadian. And again, you can just get in touch with me or go to my website and book a session. That is the month of October. This makes a great gift for people as well. And also a couple of other things that are upcoming. October 16th at 7 p.m. on YouTube. I will also be going live, and we're going to do animal communication, energy healing, and we're going to be able to tap in. I'm going to be able to share messages for you from your animals, and even if there's a bit of energy healing that they need, I would be happy to do this. It's a free event, 7 p.m. on Wednesday, October 16th. That's 9 p.m. Eastern. And then also another beautiful upcoming event is called the Upgrade Activation, October the 19th. So this is a Friday and a Saturday, and it's running from 1 p.m. to 10 p.m. Mountain Time, 3 p.m. to 12 a.m. on Eastern Time for 2 days. And it's channelers, psychics, mediums, animal communicators, like all kinds of different activations. It's live and interactive. It's going to be on YouTube. And I have the privilege of being one of the practitioners who's going to be helping, serving, and I also am all about empowerment. So I'll be giving all kinds of tips and things like that to help manage issues related to stress, to health, well-being, and we'll probably be doing some channeling in there as well and see what the guides have to say as well to support you. So that's only $55 US, you guys, and it's 2 full days, and you have access to the recordings for 2 weeks. So if you're interested in that, I'm going to put the details below, and you can go and buy your ticket. It's super cheap for a massive, massive amount of activation and spiritual guidance and information, and live and interactive. So that's what we have going on. Many, many blessings to you. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. Please let me know what you're feeling this week. Let me know if this resonated for you. And my hope is to support and to encourage you every week. And yeah, take care, everyone. Bye for now.